All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday, October 25th. We're here to talk more about fractions. Here we go. There is no review slide today. Those of you that are relying on the recording, there is no review slide today. There is a packet. If you are in quarantine, I will get that to you sometime soon. There is a packet. You'll do the whole packet, and I will take the grade on the problems I'm doing, just like we did for Section A. Here we go. Today, we're going to talk about comparing fractions. Now, we've done this before, but we are going to explore some additional strategies for how to compare fractions. So, let's compare some fractions, shall we?
Yes, we shall.
Woo! Here we go. What is the value represented by the point on the number line? We're going to talk about some estimational strategies. Give you a minute to think. Share your thoughts with your shoulder partner. 30 seconds. If you don't have a shoulder partner, you'll have to talk to your table. So table talk, table talk, table talk. Table talk.
That counts as a fraction. Outright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
All right. What did your table talk about, Emmy?
We talked about how it is about right because
What's about right?
the fraction.
What point? What do you mean it's about right? The dot is about right? What is the value? What is the value of the dot? What did you guys talk about? What do you guys talk about here? Go ahead, Nikki. Britt, Bentley, somebody. She thinks that the point is 5/12, okay? Interesting thoughts. Michael, what did your table talk about?
I think it's 1/3.
Okay, 1/3. Levi?
About right would be like 3/6.
3/6. Raylan Cornute?
We talked like about right would be 2/5.
2/5. Ella?
Like too low would be 1/2.
Too low would be 1/2. Okay. Will?
I say about right would be 6/12.
6/12. Okay. I like these thoughts. Let me ask you some questions. How did you decide what fraction would be about right? Because as we were chatting, no one gave me, or well, somebody gave me one. I think one person gave me a too low estimate. Yeah. But not very many people gave me a too low. Nobody gave me a too high. But everybody gave me an about right. How did you decide if it was about right? What did you do, Aiden?
It's closer to the middle. It's not like closer to 0.
So you said it was closer to the middle. So when you said it was closer to the middle, what did that make your determination? So you said to yourself, well, it's closer to the middle, so... Tell me more about 4/10. The dot is what?
Not.
It's not dead center, right? So it's not going to be 3/6 or 6/12 or 5/10 or 4/8 or 3/6. Oh, I think I said that already.
Yep.
Or 1/2. It's not going to be anything that's equivalent to half. It's not going to be that. Raise your hand if you can see that this dot is not dead center. It's not dead center. Good. Now, let me ask you another question. Would writing the label 1 as 10/10 or as 100 hundredths help us make better estimates? If we took this 1 and we said, because what's missing here? What's missing? What's missing here, Lila?
Tick marks.
Tick marks, right? Do we have any way of knowing what this dot is without tick marks?
No.
We have no way of knowing. And guess what? Who gets to decide what the tick marks are? Because someone over here said 1/3, right? And then people said 6s. We had 12ths. We had 10ths. Do we have 8ths somewhere, I felt like? I don't know. We had all kinds of different denominators. Who gets to decide what it is here? Garrett? Yeah. Does it give you any restrictions on what you have to choose? Does it say you have a fraction that is 1/3? Using the denominator 12, find and equip. Is it giving you any rules about what you have to do? No, it's giving you freedom to choose what you want. Listen to me. Listen to me. Hello, people in the interwebs. Do you like my hair today? Does it look nice? Listen to me. Listen to me carefully. If ever you are given the option to choose some sort of number to use, I have a request of you. If you have to choose a number to multiply by or to work with on a number line, what number is your best friend? 1's pretty good, but 1 doesn't really do anything because anything times 1 is itself. So 1's not going to do any changing.
7.
No. Think about it. When you're multiplying, what's one of the easiest numbers to multiply by?
1 whole.
Yes, because then nothing changes.
Half.
Come on.
I know.
Who thinks they know? 10! Why? What's 3 times 10, everyone?
30.
4 times 10.
40.
7 times 10.
70.
24 times 10.
What?
240. 36 times 10.
360.
Look how easy it is to use 10. 10 is your best friend. Buds, like this. Like 2 peas in a pod. Like peas and carrots. Like Jenny and Forrest. Like Phineas and Ferb. Like peanut butter and jelly. That's right. Listen. 10 is a group. The reason I tell you that is because the 5th grade has a math test today. And they get to like choose some measurement. And I was studying with Colt. And I told Colt, I said, if he's going to let you pick a number, pick 10. Because that's going to save any of your mathematics. Because you know 2 times 10 is 20. You can do really easy math with a 10, right? The number 10 is your best friend. I'm telling you. So we're going to choose 10. And we know for sure that this dot hits below 5/10. It's less than half. It's not dead center. We know that, right? Yes. And so what would be a choice that would be too low? And I just kind of eyeballed the center. If that's going to be the center, what's going to be too low, Levi? Something down here. 1/10. Because we've already decided that all of these numbers that we write here have to have the denominator of what? 10. We decided that. So 1/10 is too low. 5/10 is too high. What do you think it probably is? Look at it. My brother, this is half. Half is 5/10. This is the 5/10. So what's this probably? It's probably 4/10. If we're using tenths. If we're using twelfths, then this might be, it's not going to be 6/12. What might it be, Olivia? Might be 5/12. Okay? We could use a bunch of different things. That's the beauty of estimating. But I'm asking you, if you ever have an open-ended question like this, because we're going to be jumping out of fractions before too long and jumping back into regular numbers, if I ever give you the option to choose what number you want to work with, 10 is always a good choice. All right. What do you notice? What do you wonder? This is an interesting situation. 30 seconds of think time. What do you notice? What do you wonder? Study this chart and think mathematical thoughts. Talk to your table.
I noticed that there's a counting, and if you go down, counting by twos, all the numerator votes. 26 and 112 and 3.
Woo! Sometimes I run out of breath when I blow the thermometer. All right. What do you notice? What do you wonder? I want 2 notices and 2 wonders. Put your hands down if you're going to say a wonder. Leave your hands up if you're going to say a notice. Notice, Lila, give me one.
All the denominators on A are the same, and all the denominators on B are all the same, and then it keeps going.
Good job. Good job. One more notice. One more notice. Ashley.
That across all the numerators are the same, and then if you would go downwards, all the denominators are the same.
Very good. We got numerators going the same this way and denominators going the same that way. Can I get a wonder? What do you wonder? Ella.
I wonder why it has letters and numbers.
Okay. And another wonder, Garrett.
I wonder why they put the number line to where if you're down, it's 2. You go down. If you go down A, it's all 3s, and if you go down B, there's all 5s.
Why did they do this the way they did it, right? Good. Okay. I want you to think about these questions. Identify the greatest fraction in each column of A, B, C, D, E. So look at the columns. Which fraction in each column is the largest? Which fraction in each column is the largest, Ella?
In column A, 2/3.
in column A. So out of all of these fractions, this here is the largest. Let's consider this for a second. Here is 2/3. The first one you said 2/3. What's going to happen to my fraction with 4/3, Ella? It's going to be larger. We're going to have this much and then some, right? So is 2/3 still the biggest? Which one do you think is the biggest now? Now look at all the fractions and tell me which one you think is the biggest.
26/3.
Whoa, 26/3 is the largest in column A. What's the largest in column B? Levi?
26/5.
26/5. What's the biggest in column C, Raylan?
26.
What's the biggest in letter D, Raylan?
26/12.
And everybody together, what's the biggest in letter E?
26/100.
Very good. The largest ones in the columns are at the bottom. Let's look at the rows. Where is the greatest fraction in the rows? Levi, look at row 1.
Row 1.
Where's the greatest fraction for row 1?
2 hundredths.
Think about what you're saying. Why do you think that? Because 100 is a big number?
The denominator and the numerator are the same, so either they swap the denominator and
100.
It's bigger than 12, 10, 5, and 3.
You're right. 100 is bigger than 12, 10, 5, or 3. But when we are looking at these denominators, what's the denominator doing? The denominator is, go with me, mirror words.
Mirror words.
The denominator is
The denominator is
the total amount
the total amount
of equal parts
of equal parts
in a fraction.
in a fraction.
Mirrors off.
Mirrors off.
So what does that mean about this denominator right here, Levi? That means we have 100 total equal parts. So if I take a number line of 1, and I cut this number line into 3 pieces, 1, 2, 3, or I cut this number line into
That is so hard.
I can't even, it's not even going to be possible for me to do it. But let's just pretend that's 100, right? If this is 100, here's 2/3. Are you tracking with me?
Yeah.
Are you want to say something? Oh, you want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Oh. My fat highlighter can't even make a small enough mark. Because the denominator, the bigger the denominator, the smaller the piece. So, Levi, now what would you like to say? 2/3 is the biggest. So, Levi, what's going to be the biggest in row 2?
4/3.
Yes. Why? Because 4/3 is a little different.
Because it is like, it's the lowest denominator from 5, 10, 12 to hundredths.
Uh-huh. Read the fraction out loud in red in row 2.
4/3.
4/3. What does that mean? Somebody help Levi out. What does 4/3 mean, Aiden?
is bigger than 1 whole.
4/3 is going to be bigger than 1 whole, right? Because if I have thirds, how many thirds do I need to make a whole?
3.
3, and I have 4. So it's,
4/5.
huh?
It'd probably be 4/5.
Well, I'm looking for the greatest fraction in the row. Is 4/5 bigger than 1? Because if I have fifths right here, this purple circle here, if I have fifths and I only have 4 of them, do I have the whole thing? I don't have the whole thing. But if I have thirds and I have 4/3, then I have 1 extra thing, right? I've got more than 1 whole thing. That's right. So let's look at row 3. What's going to be the biggest in row 3? Aiden? 7/3. Row 4, everyone?
11/3.
Row 5?
26/3.
26/3. So here's all the biggest in the rows. Here's all the biggest in the columns. Now, which fraction is the greatest of all? Which fraction is the greatest of all, Charles?
4/3.
Huh?
4/3.
4/3. If I have 2/3, I have this much. If I have 4/3, I have 4 of these. If I have 7/3, I have 7 of these. So is 4/3 going to be bigger than 7/3? What's the biggest one going to be, Will?
26/3.
26/3 is going to be the biggest of them all. 26/3. Now, how did we know that 26/3 was the biggest of them all? How did we know that, Ella? Well, yeah, that's what we said, but how do we know that? Why do we think that? Gage?
We know it because 26 is a lot more than 3 than 1 whole. It's basically more than it's a couple more holes than 3.
Okay.
Than 1 3.
We know that the denominator is 3. Are you guys listening to me? Are you bored? Do you hate your life right now? What's happening? Everybody's like looking at me like,
I love my life because I'm in math class.
my man. You know how to make me happy, don't you? 3, the denominator is 3. So that means that we have to have 3 pieces to do a whole. And Gage is saying we have a lot more than 3. We have 26. So that's way more than we need for 1 whole. That's way more than 11. Way more than 7 for our 2. For those reasons, we have more than our whole. Now, we're going to keep thinking about this chart. So think about this chart some more. Here's the same exact chart. We know this is the biggest. We know these are the biggest of the rows and the columns, right? Okay. Now, we need to find out which fractions are less than half. We're going to do that in red. Which fractions are greater than half but less than 1. So we need less than half, greater than half but less than 1. And then we need all the ones that are left. We need all the ones that are left. So let's go back. So in red, we're going to have less than half. And then what did I say? Blue? I forget.
Yeah, blue.
Yeah, blue. In blue, we're going to have greater than half, but less than 1, right? And then in purple, we're going to have the rest. Okay? So let's look at these fractions. Let's start with less than half. Fractions that are less than half. So should we start with the rows or the columns? Olivia? Why should we start with the columns, Olivia? So you want to start here. Let's start back here. If we start here, do we know what half of each of these lines is going to be? What's it going to be? 50 is going to be half. Now, what we're doing is we're finding out how these fractions relate to a half and to 1. You are going to have a math test next Wednesday, not this week, the day after November 2nd when you have that day off of school and I have to still work and you guys get to stay home and you guys get to, play video games and play outside while I come here and work without you. That day where I have to work and you don't have to come.
Yeah, we get it.
You know what I'm talking about? That day where you get to go live your life and I have to come here.
Know.
Oh, okay, you know. That day, the day after that day, you have a math test. We're almost done with this section of fractions. And this kind of thing is going to be on your math test where it talks about, is this fraction, how does this fraction relate to a half? So when we look here, we know that half of 100 is, everyone? 50. So 50 100ths is the half. Which one of these is going to be greater than half? Talk to your table. Talk to your table. We need some table talk time. You guys need to talk to each other. You're only looking at letter E. You're only looking at that last part.
There has to be.
That's what we're talking about. 50
They could do well, we all know.
Which ones are less?
No, I see it. Yes, skinny muscle. There's none. Yes. Well, I we can take like but we all know that's greater than She talked about how a 65 is greater. I know that. Okay, guys, you guys
All right. In letter E, which one is going to be less than half? Olivia started us off. Is she the only one that has anything to think? Colton?
40.
What? Huh? Is this one less than half? What about this one?
Yes.
Here?
Yes.
Yes. Here?
Yes.
Yes. We're picking any of these that are less than 50, right? What's going to be half here? Aiden?
6.
Right. But we need to know what the half is.
6.
It's 6. So that we can decide, is this less than half?
Yes.
Yes. Because half, listen to me, half is 6/12. So if this is less than half, then
This is less
than half.
No.
This one's going to be,
Over.
okay, we'll talk about that later. What's the half here? Michael, what's the half here?
5/10.
Good job. Is this one less than half?
No.
Here?
No.
Here?
Yeah.
Nope.
Is this one more than or less than half?
More.
So are we circling it?
No.
Not right now. Here?
Yes.
Here?
Yes.
Now.
Yes.
What's the half of 5?
Nothing.
3. No. No, because it's an odd number. 10.
Nothing.
It's an odd number.
Remember, we didn't have a half of 5. So what we did,
3. We split it.
we doubled it
10.
and made it a 10.
Yeah. So 4 tenths.
So if we say this is 2/5 is 4 tenths,
Double
is this less than half?
it. Yeah.
So this is going to be 4 tenths.
Yeah.
So this is less than half, right?
Yes.
What's this one going to be? How many tenths? 8 tenths. Is this less than half?
No.
We're going to have to do the same thing with the thirds.
Double it.
2/3
It would be 4
times 2 equals
4
6. What's the half of the denominator? 6? 3. Is 4/6 less than half?
No.
No, it's not. Now,
2 thirds.
what?
2. 2 thirds.
You want me to circle this in red?
Yeah.
Huh?
No.
Oh. Am I supposed to circle that in red?
No.
Okay. All right. So, now, which ones are greater than half? Which ones are greater than half, Ella?
On which column?
Whatever you want.
7, 10.
This is greater than half, right? Greater than half, but
Less
than 1. Are we going to circle this one?
No.
No, because we have more than how many tenths?
1.
We have one more tenth, right? Ella, what do you want?
11 twelfths.
11/12 is greater than half, but less than 1, right? What about 7/12? Is it blue?
Yeah.
26/12? Please stop. No. 11/10?
No.
26/10?
No.
4/5.
Yes.
It's greater than a half, but less than 1. 7/5?
No.
11/5?
No.
26/5?
No.
2/3?
Yes.
Is it less than 1?
Yes.
4/3?
No.
Any of the rest of these?
No.
Now we're going to circle the rest of these all in purple. What do all the purple ones have in common? We did not label the purple ones. They are what? All the purple ones are what, Charles?
Yes.
Ashley?
They're resting there because none of the things we did at the bottom match any of those.
Think about it. Look here. 4/3. 7/3. 7/5. Gage, what do you want to call this?
It is more than one whole.
Good job. These are all greater than 1, right? These are all greater than 1. All right, let's go find out what they want us to do with these color-coded things. Next to the table, create a legend. We did that. Oh, they want to know this. Okay, I'm ready. I can do this. We got to go back here. I got to erase all this.
Can't you just go up there and hit clear?
Yeah, I could, but then it'll clear this whole entire thing. I don't want that.
Oh, no.
So now I am going to take this chart and I am going to ask you for some equivalences. So, looking at the chart, which one is greater, 2/5 or 7/10? Find 2/5. Oh, I didn't do this in the last class. You guys got a little cheaty McCheaterson here.
Okay.
Find 2/5 and find 7/10. Use the key. Get that out of your mouth. That's how you get sick, honey. Use the key here to tell me which inequality sign you want. Greater than or less than? Where's 2/5? So somebody come up here. Who's going to come up here and help me with this? Garrett, come up here. Where's 2/5? And where's 7/10? So 2/5 is red. What does red mean?
Less.
Less than what?
Less than 1/2.
And what does blue mean?
It means greater than 1/2.
So which one's bigger?
7/10.
Who agrees with Garrett? 7/10. Nice. Thank you, Garrett. Look at the next one. 4/10. Oh, sorry. Can't see it. There we go. 4/10 or 7/12. Somebody come up. Who's coming up? Raylan. Come on up. 4/10 or 7/12. Why? What'd you say? 7/12? Why? Where's the 4/10? Where's the 7/12? What does the red mean and what does the blue mean?
That means less than 1/2. And then blue means greater than.
So which one do you want the alligator to eat? 7/12. Good job. Who agrees with Raylan? I just wrote it down. So good job. Thank you. And fine. Well, I got 2 more. The next 2 I want you to look at very carefully, and I want you to think about them. 11 hundredths or 4/3. It's my hope that the mathematical teaching of fractions I've given you thus far would give you the ability to figure this out without a fancy colored-in chart. 11 hundredths or 4/3. Colton. Why 4/3, Colton? The purple's greater than 1. And when we see, anytime we see a fraction where the numerator is greater than the denominator, that means we have more than one. More than one thing. And so let's look at this last one. 24/10 or 11/12, Bentley. Which one's going to be bigger? Because it only takes 10/10 to make a whole. You tracking with me? We got 24 here, or we only have 11/12. We don't even have a whole thing. I want you to see these. Today's lesson is for you to see these numerators and denominators, relate them back to the half, and think to yourself, where does this hit on this number line around half? I know that 26 hundredths is less than half because 50 hundredths is the halfway mark. Okay? That is the whole purpose of this conversation. We talked about that. We talked about this. How did you compare fractions in which neither the numerator nor the denominator are the same? Did the color coding help? Did the color coding help? Will?
Yes.
Did it help? Why did it help?
Because the color coding helped because of red. Oh, I forget my colors.
Oh, it doesn't matter what the colors were. Just tell me.
It was because one color was less than half. One color was more than half but less than 1.
Good.
And the other ones were just more than half.
Right.
No. Yeah.
More than one whole. Yeah. And so then once we color coded the whole thing, did it make the comparison part pretty quick and easy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it definitely helps a lot, doesn't it? All right. In each pair of fractions, which fraction is greater? Explain or show your reasoning. So 5/12 and 5/8. Where's the half for 5/12? Or for 12ths, what's the half? Aiden? 6/12. And what's the half for 5/8?
4.
4/8. So which one's going to be bigger? 5/8 or 5/12, Olivia? 5/8, because this one is bigger than the half. Do you see what we're doing here?
Yes.
Let's do one more. 11/10 and 18/100. Oh, man.
This is
Come on, see it.
18.
See it.
No. 11.
Why?
Because it's 1 whole.
Because it's
Over 1.
over 1 whole. That's right. I want you to see that. It's over 1 whole. This is bigger than a whole. Don't let this big number trick you. They're going to try to trick you and toss in 100 and be like, ooh, they know 100's a lot. They're going to get tricked. No, we're not going to get tricked because we know it's 100 pieces.
We're big brain.
You're cutting this Reese cup into 100 pieces, right? Let's do one more. 6/10 or 7/12. What are we going to do here? Walk me all the way through it. What are we going to do, Ella?
Find the half of 6/10.
What's the half here of the tenths?
6/5.
5/10 is the half. We know this is bigger than the half. What's the half here?
6.
6/12 is the half, so this one's bigger. Uh-oh. Now what do we do? Now we have to think about the size of the piece. This is 1 piece bigger than the 10th, and this is 1 piece bigger than the 12th. Don't you dare start packing. But what do we know about these 12 pieces? Aiden?
They're small.
These pieces are smaller. So which one's going to be bigger?
6.
6/10. Yes. Hey, nice job, everyone. High five. This concludes our math lesson for today. A little round of applause. Very good. Whoopsie. Hit the wrong button. All right. It is